Hey, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Terraria. The take a day off edition. I just realized I just finished playing the last episode, and I realized it's been a full month since the kids had a day off school, so of course. There's a day off school for them tomorrow, and which means I won't be able to record. So I gotta bang out a few here before the kids come back. Also work, yeah, I gotta go back to work soon. I'm sure. Gonna be a week or two before that. So I'm putting off a few chores. Don't hate me. Putting off a few chores, and I'm gonna bang out another episode here. There's some blink root. If we could get that, will that generate seeds? I don't think that will generate seeds. That's not yellow enough. Blinkroot is the one I have trouble getting the most. I'm gonna need to get a greenhouse set up. Oh geez. So yeah, so Game of Thrones, we were talking about that in the last one. That's fine. But yeah, I don't think there's ever been a media property where they've built up a thing and then I was totally narratively satisfied with how they do that. Wall 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wall. That should work, right? Like that should add up. Logic dictates. But again, it's not like. Although I guess the who gets to have satisfaction, if anybody. Is a legitimate narrative complaint. I was gonna say my complaints always tend to be more narrative. Like you'll never see me, I don't think, complain about lighting. Like like I might say, oh, it's kind of dark, I don't really like that, but I'm never gonna say, oh, that episode sucked because it was so dark. Like I'm not gonna. That's not where my focus is at. I'm gonna say, oh, that episode sucked, or that arc sucked because X, Y, and Z. Was missing from the arc. Like, tell me, I want to know a little bit, or at least have it hinted at how character got from A to B, right? If there's going to be something impactful at B happen, you don't have to spell out I don't need a roadmap, a literal map of Winterfell. But if something impactful is going to happen, if that's the route you're going for in your story is to have impact, then I'm going to want to know, at least be given some tools, some indicators on how character got from A to B. That's all I want, right? Especially when you set up, the fact that the character is going to be in motion from A to B in a kind of a neat way. I like the way they did that. Then I want to give me more, right? There wasn't enough in that impact arc, I guess. Is what my main complaint is as I burp into the microphone. Excuse me. Yeah, there's. I want more. If that's where the story is. If there's impact, then that's where the story is. If there's story there, then I want to know about it. I don't just want to. And again, I don't want the whole roadmap. You don't have to spell everything out. I'm not a complete rube. I'm very, very much, part of the show don't tell crowd. I don't need to be, oh, I'm now going to walk from here to here and I'm going to, well, show me that you're sad. Don't, like, be sad. Don't tell me that you're sad, right? Like, for a character. That's what I want. Eugene, we wanted, what was the name we wanted? Maybe Eugene was the one we wanted. I don't remember. What do you got for me? I need a net because we're going to fish. And I now buy torches. I've got 1 gold. Piggy banks. I have... Hello. Oh yeah, we got to finish our arena. I would hate to be exploring with Parvana once we get to that point where we can actually explore. I would hate to be exploring with Parvana and then have King Slime just decide he wants to exist, as happened in another playthrough that I just mentioned in the last video. That would devastate me, because I'd either have to go in and cheese it and kill King Slime with another character, which would not do anybody any justice, or I would have to watch Parvana be ripped asunder by blue slime, and that's just not. Is this too close to our? Ugh, that's a bit close. Oh well, that's gonna be there. We'll pull back 3 or 4 tiles there, just maybe to the other side of this bridge, and then we'll try and maybe build it out this way a little. Once we have explosives, we can tear this hill apart. This will be just ripped up. Yeah, that'll be good. Problem is you have to explore to get explosives, right? So catch 22. Yeah, we'll pull this one back to where this one is. Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, so that's where I am with that. So now I'm trying to filter that algorithm. I'm trying to algorithmize with my feeble human monkey brain and out algorithm the algorithm. And to do that, I'm not actually watching the videos, but I'm clicking on as many different videos that are far from that as I can think of, but still within my realm of interest. So, because I hate I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I hate the algorithm. I don't have any respect for any of that internet stuff that tries to tell me what I want. Right? When YouTube or Amazon or Google ads are trying to tell me what I want, I get livid. Like I have a physical response to that. I think I've mentioned this before, but like things like those Google ads and the side, those drive me crazy. I remember I spent one afternoon researching something that I wanted, pricing it out, planning to get it, and then getting it. And I did my homework and I did the thing and I ordered it and then it was done, right? And that took whatever it was, I'm going to say 2 hours. I don't know if it was 2 hours, or maybe it was more, maybe it was less. When I'm spending $100+ I take a little bit of time just to make sure I'm not, especially on Amazon. I feel the quality of overall on Amazon has gone down over the years, but that's another. We got a lot of Terraria. Maybe that'll show up in another video. Yeah, this obviously is not big enough. We'll send it that way. We'll send it that way at some point. This will be enough if I have to face something. At least it's a good base of a deal that I can teleport back to the home base and get into the arena as soon as possible. It's something anyway, right? Like it's not a gimme, but it's something. But yeah, so if I'm spending a chunk of change, I will research. So it's a lot of clicking on things that are relatively the same, right? Do I want this size? Do I want these features? So it's click, 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 and then I compare them, and then I look at prices, and it's then I'll go from Amazon to something else. Can I get it locally? Can I, and then I order it. 9 times out of 10, if I'm looking at something that in depth, it's because I want it, so I end up ordering it, right? I'm in a position ready to buy it, so I buy it. I'm an adult. Then, for the next week or more, I'm hit with all these ads for, hey, do you want to buy this thing? No, I just bought this thing. You're showing me the exact thing that I just bought 2 days ago and advertising it to me. Get it off my screen. I don't want to look at it. Get it out of here. But no, that's not the way the world works, I know. But I hate algorithms, all kinds of algorithms. I despise them. And now I'm trying to feel this because the algorithm's like, hey, you like Joe Rogan podcasts. You also watch some of the stuff of this guy that was once on the Joe Rogan podcast. So you must want to watch the Joe Rogan podcast. No, I don't want to watch it. I don't like either of them that much to watch them, and like all 3 different podcasts that they were together and keep shoveling them down my throat. I don't want to watch this guy on Rogan. I don't. It's aggravating. So I'm trying to out algorithm the algorithm, and so I'm at least clicking on a whole bunch of Molyneux videos. I'm clicking on all kinds of stuff. I'm trying to filter out the Game of Thrones stuff out of the feed, out of the homepage, One place I'm quite pleased I haven't seen anything for spoilers is Reddit, and I don't know if it's just because the kind of subreddits I follow or subscribe to, but Reddit has been spoiler free. I've also stayed out of the comments for specifically that choice. There's been a couple of posts, I think, that mention Game of Thrones, but nothing that... Some of those YouTube thumbnails, I mean, man, they should be borderline criminal. And it is cold here. My furnace just kicked on again. It is cold. I gotta do something about that. It's amazing, though, in the summertime, spring... It's spring here in small town Canada. Don't kid yourself. It's not summer. In springtime, you know, 60-something degrees, 64 degrees is like... That's what it was in my house. And it was comfortable yesterday. I was like... As the evening was approaching, I mentioned that to the kids. I'm like, isn't that weird how like 64 degrees in spring and you're totally... If it had been that in February, 64 degrees in this house when it was like 40 below... I know I'm switching from Celsius and Fahrenheit. I'm talking 60 Fahrenheit because that's just what my thermostat happens to be, and I don't know how to switch it. Yes, I pulled the thing off. I looked. It's not just a switch. This is an old thermostat. You got to like cross a wire over to it, and I don't care enough to figure. It's I keep the furnace at like 66, 67 in the winter. Now when it's hot out in the day, I open the windows, drop the temperature down so the furnace doesn't come on. You know, 64, even 63 during the day. It's impossible to be cold when the sun is shining, is what I always tell myself. So if it's sunny out and the windows are sun filled, you know, 63 degrees in here is not that bad in the spring. But isn't it weird how if it was that same 63 in February, when we went through that spat, when it was like 40 below every day, I would have been freezing. I would have been livid if I let it get to 64, 63 degrees in here in February. It's so bizarre how that works. I'm sure there's a scientific explanation, but I don't care. I also don't understand how trees work in this game. So it seems like I can never get planted trees to grow as big as they do after. I don't know if that has to do with amount of tiles beneath or space above. Like, I don't know if this is going to affect whether these spawn or not. We managed to get no bait today. I wanted to do a bait run. We managed to burn through a whole day. I can't even remember what I was talking about. And what did we do? Oh, we got our bomb. Okay, so we're going to build our demolitionist house. We got lucky with a bomb carrying a slime, which is always nice. Why are you in here and you in here? This is backwards. Okay, good. I thought I was losing my mind for a second there. So strange. Oh no, our blink root. Is that blink root? We got seed out of it. That's all that matters. One seed is all it takes. That's what I always tell myself. One seed is all it takes. Something, something. That's a song, right? I'm pretty sure. I've gotten in this habit of leaving the TV on music channels all day, so I hear a lot of like current songs. I used to be a big classic rock guy. The town that I lived in during my my college days, or my my university days rather. Oh yeah, when I was like, how you guys switch. I had a big classic rock station that I listened to quite often. I was a big classic rock guy for a while. Now I just want whatever's kind of new with the kid, and I think it does have something to do with kids. You know, what are the kids listening to? I want to know. You know, I want to hear what Ariana Grande is telling them, because kind of not concerned, but you want to be aware. You want to be knowledgeable. You don't want to be totally detached from your kid's reality. Like, that's just basic. A lot of this stuff they chalk up to, like, oh, good parenting is just so. I'm like, well, it's not good parenting. It's just you want to know. You don't want to be left out in the cold. Why would you be? It's good humaning, I guess, is my point, right? That's what I always go by. I'm not trying to be a good parent. I'm trying to be a good human, right? You don't want to be just totally detached from what they're doing and what's going on. As a good person, you want to be knowledgeable. You want to be totally out in the weeds. I mean, you're inevitably going to be left out in the weeds anyway, right? They're going to outpace you. That's just how kids work. So why not, why speed up that process? And that's the way it's supposed to be. If your kids don't outpace you, you're not doing your job. And I think until recently, we were almost in that spot where it was like they're not outpacing us fast enough. Like they're staying kids too long, in my opinion. And but that's changed a lot over the last few months, in terms of their independence and their willingness to be independent. If that makes any sense, is greatly increased over the last little bit, to my great pleasure, because like I said, if you're not helping your kids learn to not need you, then you're not doing your job. So it's gonna happen anyway, so why not make sure that you're as knowledgeable as you can be as the process happens. But again, that's just me. We'll plop these puppies out and we'll turn these into stone just for aesthetic purposes. There we go. I tend to also want a nice non-grass area here as well. So we'll just plop you down. Bring, bring. Buttes. Okay, that's all good. That's all nice. Oh, yep. Okay, that's nice. Boom. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. So so I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I'm curious how that's going to go. Even though I may be yes, we should get a demolitionist. Even though I might not get to watch it in the moment, so to speak. Oh yeah, that's what we were doing. I was looking for you. And I'm looking, we got to save our gel. That gel is going to be, like I said, is going to be like gold soon enough. How much do we have? 99. Now that we got the demolitionist fairly early. So we will be purchasing torches because it's I'm all about the explosives when it comes to exploring underground, and even I've been in development with a bombing strategy for moving left and right through difficult biomes as well. It's not perfect and it's tedious, but that's pretty much perfect for what we got going on in these videos, right? So gel is, and they're all sticky bombs that I use. That's what I do. So we'll knock this to high hell, expand the arena this way. Might even cut it back this way a little. I don't know what's over here though. If this is sand, I hate getting, like, you're in your arena and then there's like sandstorm that creeping in, because the biome stretches fairly far this way. So it might end over here, to be honest with you. I don't know much about how the maps work either. I hate when you get like, oh, I'm gonna dig down and all of a sudden there's sand, and then because there's a sand biome that's cut across here, that drives me absolutely crazy. Hey, look, it looks like a rabbit. He's even got green for an eye. Yeah, I see that kind of crap all the time. Just bear with me. Hey, look, it's a tree. I'm gonna start recouping our, and I see this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the kind of thing on my other hardcore I'd be out moving around, but I don't have the strength with this. I've only got 200 regular arrows and a wooden bow. You get a couple of demon eyes coming in from either direction, and Parvana will be ripped to death in no time. That's I gotta watch that kind of crap, because that is how this. I want this character to go on for a long time. And it's not going to happen with that kind of behavior. So I guess we'll dump this water into here. I mean, this has got to be pretty close to deep enough. And even if it's not, I don't see us getting water from anywhere else. So, knock that into there. Yeah. That shit's pretty good, right? I mean, we could do it the old-fashioned way with buckets. We can get some iron, we'll move them by buckets. I really don't want to do that either, but it's possible. It's doable. It is doable. Yeah, we got some iron there. I don't know where we got that from. Some iron there. We've set up our crafting area. Set up our greenhouse. I usually do that across from my my fishing area, so maybe we'll do that right here. Just plunk. Head into here. I do a very basic setup. Big open room with a whole bunch of platforms and clay pots. Oh, I watched on Netflix Black Summer, and just again in the vein of narrative choice, right? I'm kind of torn with this Black Summer thing, because it's like, on the one hand, I like in small doses the sort of fractured storytelling, right? Where you get a whole bunch of, here I am starting a new topic here, and the moon is about to go down. You get a whole bunch of sort of disjointed imagery, right? And you cut between those, right? You go from disjoint. So like you have characters, they're running through the streets, so because it's a zombie show, and they're looking for an empty house, or they're looking somewhere safe to go. And they open a house and they happen to stumble in on some group of hostages and a guy with a gun. And it's like, well, part of me thought, is this a domestic issue? What are we? So it brings up all these questions and interesting story type stuff. And you're like, well, what is this? Questions, and it runs through the possible narrative answers in your head, because that's just how my mind works, right? So yeah, I get that. I like that. But when your whole show is dedicated to that kind of principle, that's a bit, it started to wear on me a bit. I was like, is this just, I started to question the narrative choice rather than the narrative questions that they were trying to bring up, right? So I moved pretty quickly from appreciating what they were doing to questioning, is this just weak storytelling? And I ended up settling in a comfortable spot with that show, and I'll talk about that spot in the next episode. Until then, thanks very much. See you soon.